Hey everybody, welcome back. Comic book review time, and today we're here to look at the one-shot in the first 4 issues of DC's Rebirth, Suicide Squad. Okay, so I really dig this. I read Harley Quinn, and I really liked what I've read of Harley Quinn. Of course, I wanted to read some Suicide Squad. I was never really terribly familiar with it outside of the movie, which is, it's okay, especially compared to reading the comics. The comics are a lot more fun. Though I will say off the bat, I feel like they've changed the comics to be more like the movie, maybe. Again, I'm just saying that. I have no frame of reference. This is the first Suicide Squad I've ever read outside of reading a reprint of the very first issue. So let's get in here, and do they have the titles and stuff up front? Nope, so we'll get to the names and everything when I can. But so this is the one shot, kind of doing the Rebirth thing, and we get this awesome image of Harley right off the bat with the line, "The Suicide Squad is finished," because you basically have Amanda Waller facing off against, well, now ex-president, President Obama. And it's pretty cool because it's kind of this political discussion about how you need them, but they should be accountable, but they can't be accountable because then you can't use them, blah, 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 blah. Amanda Waller is her typical badass self. And basically she says, hey, if you want us to be accountable, let me put an American hero in there. There's this guy, Rick Flag. I need you to give me the right to go get him. He's on top secret missions, kind of stuff. And finally, President Obama's like, all right, fine. And, basically he is not happy about Amanda Waller. Turns out, though, Flag is actually in a prison for something, and he's going to be there to rot forever. She, of course, uses that like, hey, you can sit here and rot, or you can come and have a new unit, even though they are all criminals. He's like, I don't want to work with those people, but he's like, well, that's what you got to do. Now, in the meantime, we have Harley, we have Deadshot, we have Captain Boomerang rescuing this science who has a meta bomb that can either turn a bunch of people into metas or turn a bunch of metas into regular people. And so they've been sent in to, capture it. It's all kind of back and forth, talking to Rick Flag, all that's going on. And there's some pretty cool artwork and stuff going on here too, by the way, some pretty cool colors. And, they're just fighting, and they're getting their butts kicked by a massive group of metas. Harley's having a good old time. Deadshot's just Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang just wants the hell out of there. Now, the scientist gets captured, but they need the bomb, so throws a boomerang, slices off his freaking hands so they can get the bomb. But that still leaves the problem of the scientist, and Amanda does not want the secrets getting out, so Deadshot has to take the shot, put the poor SOB out of his misery, so he can't be used against them. Now, basically then they are given the order to detonate the bomb to stop all these metas from being metas. And they do it. And all these guys lose their powers. Just as Rick Flag comes being dropped in, he's finally agreed to do it. And he's like, hey, now let's save the world. And you get this awesome page here at the back, which is a really great work of art that would be a really cool cover. It might have been a cover, honestly. So that's issue number 1. But you know what? Hold on, let me catch, since we didn't catch it. There we go. Here we go. Here's the credits, guys. We got Robbie Williams as a writer. We got Philip Tan, did I say it right, as a penciler. Jonathan, I can't read this backwards. Those are all inkers. Jonathan Glapion, Scott Hanna, and Sandu Floria. Terribly sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. I'm crap with names, but at least I'm trying, and I want to make sure you guys get the credit you deserve, because this is a really fun book. So that was the one-shot Rebirth. Now we're into the actual story. This is a 4-part story for this arc, and it's pretty neat. We get to see Blackgate as Amanda arrives to the actual prison, which comes out of the ocean, which I think is much cooler than what we've seen. She picks out a team and has them all brought in. Of course, we got Rick Flag, and we got great. I'm going to totally blank on her name for the moment. I know it. Katana. There we go. And they put the whole team together. They bring them all in. And, of course, Deadshot's in. Harley's excited. Captain Boomerang's Captain Boomerang. June Moon is just freaking out. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. Croc is there and doesn't want to go to space. He's like, I'll do anything except space. Well, the very next thing, guess what? They're going to space. So that's pretty cool. Now, there's some kind of malfunction. I love this, by the way. Harley is collecting, like, Pokemon. So that's really cool. And she found one up in space. I just think that's really neat. Croc is not feeling well, and then boom, they're like dropped because you can't fly into this place. This is the fastest way in for radars not to find you, somewhere in Russia. And Croc gets sick, literally gets sick, throws up in his helmet so much that he starts drowning in his own vomit. So Rick Flag has to get out of his seat, go over there, help release his helmet, which throws the whole thing off its course, and tilts him upside down, and they're all gonna die, and there's gonna be a really short Suicide Squad run. But then they crash into the ocean, and now everybody is actually drowning and being dragged under by their suits. So that's kind of where we leave off. Now, one thing about these Suicide Squad ones, at least the early ones, the front half is the story. The back half is like a one-shot, well, like not really a one-shot, but here's a little history on these characters. So you see how Deadshot got captured. And in this version, he's hired to assassinate Bruce Wayne, and then when he doesn't want to take the job, they're like, well, we have your daughter kidnapped. So he actually goes to Batman, and they work together to make sure that he gets the daughter back and all this stuff. And Batman's like, he made him promise no killing, use rubber bullets, all that kind of stuff. And which he does for the most part until they actually find his daughter. And then he uses a real bullet for the guy who took his daughter. And his daughter finds out he was Deadshot. Yeah, right there, see? He's like, bam, don't, blah. And then, you know, he knows Batman's gonna have to take him in for that, but it was totally worth it. And that's what happens, and that's how he gets captured for the Suicide Squad. All right, moving on to issue number 2. Man, I need to find a way to do these a little bit faster. I don't know if we need to be recapping these stories. Let me know, guys. Do you want the recaps? Do you want me to just give you my feelings on these issues? I don't know. I feel like some of you might not be reading these, so you kind of want to know the story. But I feel like there's better places you can go have the story told to you. comic historian. But anyways, so we're into this next issue, and you know, all this stuff's still going on. There's this other lady, Harcourt, that comes over, and apparently she's kind of an overseer, or she at least has some power like Amanda Waller does. And all the team's dying in the underwater, but you know, Katana gets loose, and she rescues some folks, and everybody kind of gets taken out of their suits. And Captain Boomerang boomerangs a space engine into the actual facility to blow them a hole in there so they can get inside. And the waters come pouring in. They finally kind of seal the door shut and everything. And Flag and Deadshot and the other, and Boomerang, are inside. And they're like, well, the rest are dead. Well, that's why we're called Suicide Squad. But then, you know, the big green claw starts ripping open the door, and everybody's like, aliens! Nope, it's Croc. And he saved Harley and Katana and June. He saved all the ladies. Good going, Croc. And they start getting fired at, and Harley and Katana jump into battle against these Russian troopers, and it's just pretty awesome, especially this last little bit. Like, where is it? This one guy tries to surrender, but he gets a boomerang to the face, and Captain Boomerang's like, I helped. And then they help this prisoner escape, who's called Hack, who kind of is like a living computer, and she teleports them to the main room. Oh, and Harley's going to sue her for image likeness. She teleports them through the internet, which is interesting, to the main room where they find this giant sphere. And, of course, Captain Boomerang goes to touch the giant sphere when everybody's like, no, and gra, 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 gra. And everybody's like horrified by what's left. Even I'm horrified by what's left. Just his smoking boots, dude. They killed Captain Boomerang, as far as I can tell. And then something or someone starts ripping its way out of the sphere. And then it's pee-pee pants city time because it's freaking General Zod, dude. Holy crap. And that pretty much is the end of part 2, Blitzkrieg. So, did we do the names? Yeah, we did the names, didn't we? Oh no, they changed from the one shot. Sorry about that. Now we have writer Rob Williams. We getting that? Good. And Jim Lee is the penciler. Oh, I know that name. And Scott Williams is an inker. Alex Sinclair is the colorist. And yeah, so I mean, and it's really, really good. I don't mean to, you know, disparage anybody, but now we get the little bit backstory about Captain Boomerang. Basically, he just tells this whole lie where Amanda knows that he's actually just a sad little boy. He's talking about how he was a Secret Service captain and how he went to go fight this villain named the Drop Bear. And, you know, he's like telling her a James Bond kind of story because he got tired of fighting the Flash, and I saved all these missiles and they didn't die because the Drop Bear shielded them with his huge body. Just a really crazy story that's really fun to read. You know, he even like gets the dame in the end and all that, and Amanda Waller's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I know what your actual story is. So that one was a really fun read. So issue number 3, here's the cover. We're getting there. We're almost through this. We'll make it. So, you know, now, you know, Amanda Waller is, again, recapping what it's like when Superman or gods show up. And we get this awesome page, by the way, of General Zod just whooping ass and everybody freaking out. Hack's trying to figure out some stuff in the computers and download things. Flag and Deadshot are shooting at him just to distract him, to get his attention. June is just freaking out. Finally, Enchantress shows up, and you'd think the magic's going to work against a Zod because Kryptonians should be fallible to magic, but it's not that effective. She gets thrown halfway across the place. And I love this too. Harley runs. She's like, nope, not doing this. Takes off. But Katana's magic sword does have some effect on General Zod, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, and they're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting. The souls in the sword are screaming, and she actually draws blood on General Zod, so that's really cool. And Harley's running away, and until she runs into a wall of highly armored sci-fi Russian soldiers. So she's coming back in like, yeah, hey guys. And just all hell's breaking loose on all ends. Everybody's fighting, trying to take down Zod, and about to get cornered by everything else. All these soldiers come in, but Hack finds them a whole bunch of weapons. So they go out and they're able to take down all the other guards. And that's when the Russian version of the Suicide Squad basically shows up. So it's like, uh-oh. And that's the end of that one. So the story in the back of this one is Katana's little quick backstory. And, you know, it's the basic story of her husband and her husband's brother. And her husband and his brother finds the sword and, you know, becomes jealous and kills the husband. And then is going to kill Katana, but the sword kind of chooses her. Ah, crap, don't want to screw up my book here. And, you know, some great art in it, though. And basically once the sword chooses her, she takes out the evil brother and is bonded with the sword, and she just ends off with, because Amanda Waller wants to know why she's there, and she's just like, something is coming. I don't know. They didn't really tell me. That's the issue 3. All right, issue number 4, finishing up this little arc. Another great cover. I love that. Vaguely reminiscent of Tank Girl, which I only know from the movie, so I don't know what I'm talking about really. Okay, so we're back underground. We still have Captain Boomerang's boots. Zod is like, what the crap? He's still fighting. Now they have the Russian Suicide Squad they got to deal with too. So again, they're still pinned between a rock and a hard place. And basically, Hack finally downloads all the information. Harcourt is kind of impressed. And yeah, June's like, don't kill me, I'm just a graphic designer. And Zod's like, die, graphic designer. You know he doesn't even know what that is. And just as he's about to, just as he's about to punch her, Croc bites his hand. And he's like swinging Croc around till he can finally punch him off. And Zod just ain't having it. And then, of course, you know, show me your alpha. And Rick's like, right here, basically. Rick is just a boss in this, dude. I'm kind of really digging on this. So Katana gets up, throws Rick the sword. And Rick stabs Zod with the sword. Just as Hack figures out it's the Phantom Zone. How to kick him back into it. So they've kicked him back into the Phantom Zone. It swallows him back up, and they're like, all right, now they just got to deal with the Russian Suicide Squad. But before they have to do that, Hack transfers them via the internet back to the black site, the prison. What's I really wish I was better at retaining names. Belle Reve, there we go. And you know, so basically they figured it out, and they brought back the Phantom Zone orb with them, and there you go. So that's pretty much kind of the main end of that arc. So I really dig that. Now we get kind of a bit of a Harley story. It's not really a origin. It's more about Rick testing her in the field to see if he can trust her, and it's pretty cute. You know, they go find some Joker toxin. And the Joker toxin starts giving her, well, she starts having visions of Joker, and she's talking to him. Everybody else is, you know, all the men, she has to take down the men because they've been taken. And she has the opportunity to basically kill Rick because he's coming at her. But she decides not to. And, you know, she just kind of knocks him out. And her vision of Joker is disappointed. But she's like, no, she's basically had enough of Joker. And she's just got him captured because she's going to take him back. And, you know, basically she's earned his trust. So, all right, guys, there you go. That is the one shot in the first 4 issues of Rebirth. Whew, that's a lot of talking. And that's me saying it. Again, I really dig this. I like the art in it. Harley's great. Killer Croc is great. Katana is very interesting. Rick Flag is a boss. Amanda Waller is terrifying. And, yeah, this is great. This is what, I mean, DC. Read DC films. Read your books. Make movies that are more like your books, because they are real and gritty and fit your universe, but they're really good instead of just being kind of okay. And if you love the DC movies, that's fine. I really enjoy them. They're just not up to snuff for me where I would like them to be. They're not as good as the books. But let me know what you guys think. Are you reading this version of Suicide Squad? Have you read these issues? Let me know. Comment down below with me. Who's your favorite character in this? I can't believe what they did with Captain Boomerang, though. That's pretty messed up. And yeah, let's just geek out about it like we like to do. Other than that, click that thumbs up button. Give me the thumb of encouragement, because I love to be encouraged. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to read some more books, and I'll see you all later.